Hey, it's me, who else could it be, Falonzo here. So the problem isn't so much the gearing structure or the gearing process or the lack of gear being dropped in raids and mythic pluses. The problem is the reward structure itself that permeates throughout the game. Simply participating and clearing the content isn't enough anymore, and Blizzard are in part to blame for this. Back in the day, simply clearing a raid on normal mode used to be the objective, and after clearing it on normal mode, those who wanted more of a challenge could do so on heroic. Gear in that context served as a means to clear a raid and also showed you whether or not you cleared a raid to begin with. It was very easy to see whether or not someone killed a boss because again they wore a piece of gear that came from said boss. Now there are 4 difficulties between which it is increasingly difficult to delineate which one is supposed to be the challenge mode and which one is supposed to be the quote-unquote normal mode that everybody has supposed to be clearing in order to consider themselves complete. It seems now that the 4 difficulties are part of the same package, whereby you can only consider yourself to be done once you have, completed on Mythic. Normal and heroic are just steps towards getting to the quote-unquote final mode. And this is part of the problem. As I mentioned, back in the day, simply clearing the raid on normal mode used to be the achievement and used to be the goal. Now, however, gear is the objective. And this is a big problem. Simply clearing a Mythic Plus isn't the objective anymore. No, you're doing it to get the gear. In part because a Mythic Plus isn't fun to begin with, but also in part because, well, who sees that you have cleared it on Mythic Plus? There are no ways in-game without an add-on to tell whether or not you even did it, other than maybe perhaps looking at someone's gear, but then all you can really see is plus 15 on it. You don't know where the gear came from, you don't know how they did it, you don't know what their time was, and as such, the gear, or even worse, the item level, is the real objective. And this is where the problem of its reward structure comes in. The game simply isn't rewarding, or better yet, everything now must reward gear because gear is the objective. Clearing a Torghast run just isn't an objective anymore, because why would you? For one, nobody knows that you did it. And 2, what would you want out of it other than gear? Running Torghast, Mythic Plus or raiding just isn't fun on its own. They all serve the same purpose, upping that item level. This is the part that you can blame Blizzard for. They've created a game that isn't fun, but people play anyway simply for the pursuit of a higher item level. And once that objective of a higher item level doesn't get satisfied, well, they start complaining, because again, what else do they do? Completing Castle Natio normal mode isn't an achievement, completing it on heroic isn't an achievement anymore, completing it on mythic isn't an achievement anymore because everybody will do it at some point, right? The player base as a whole just doesn't care anymore about that sort of thing. And they used to. I used to remember knowing exactly which guild were on what, because again, clearing a raid on heroic was an achievement. That is because back then the casual player stopped at normal, and it took him a while to clear normal. And again, I think this is the bigger issue that Blizzard has really screwed up the game with, in that, again, gear is the all-important thing now, clearing the content isn't. The higher item level, in fact, is the end-all and be-all of World of Warcraft. Clearing the content should be the end goal, not the gear. Gear in any game should be a way to get to the end. It should not be the end. It should not be the thing that the game revolves around. Yet with World of Warcraft, this is exactly the case. This is the case because Blizzard, for whatever reason, decided to create 4 different raid difficulties and on top of that, have 20 plus levels of Mythic Plus that all potentially reward you with gear. Although yes, granted at 15 it kinda just stops, but still. And I do understand that this has been the case for most MMOs, if not for World of Warcraft into itself. However, PvP used to be one of the systems that stood to the side and was an example of a, well, system that could operate without the need for rewards. Simply doing PvP used to be the fun activity to do. However, it is also incorporated into your gearing process to a point where most people are actively engaging with it, just so they can once again aim for that higher item level. Think of previous World of Warcraft expansions, think of Wrath of the Lich King. Most people played that because they wanted to kill Arthas. Killing Arthas was the objective. But think of it now, is killing the jailer really your objective? No, it isn't, right? The objective is just to get a higher item level and, well, killing the jailer is just a thing you do along the way. Hell, you kill the jailer several times because one, you have to do it on normal, then you have to do it on heroic, and then you have to do it on Mythic Plus. And by the time you get to Mythic Plus, you probably have killed the jailer about 1,000 times already, all in the pursuit of a higher item level. Because even once you've killed it on Mythic, you still have to kill him several times over, because again, it's just about the gear. And the only time you will stop is once there's no more gear to be had. And so if you think about it, World of Warcraft in its entirety has just become a new Game Plus mode that is way overblown. It's all about forcing you to do the same thing over and over and over again to ad nauseum for whatever reason. And is anyone really impressed by that? People really impressed that someone cleared a boss on Mythic? And to provide you with an example, think of Dark Souls. Who on earth is impressed with someone doing it on a +7 or a +8? Because again, it's just the same game, but slightly harder. What is the challenge in that? I'm more impressed with someone speedrunning it, or better yet, doing a no-hit run, other than, +7 or +8. No one is watching a streamer play Dark Souls +8 or +9, when they could watch someone do a speedrun of it, or do a no-hit run, right? Or even a randomizer. And so why would anybody want to watch World of Warcraft or play World of Warcraft in that way? And yet that's entirely what the game has become. And so to conclude, you might ask yourself, okay, what then can Blizzard do to make the game better? And I'll stop right there, because frankly it doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, the game will stay the same way. World of Warcraft is entirely about retention, it's about keeping you playing, it's about engagement figures. And when I say engagement, it literally just means how long you're logging on, how long you're engaging with a certain system. That is all that matters. You having fun is an irrelevant part of the algorithm that dictates what Blizzard will do next. It's about making money. And that's it. And on top of that, how does anyone expect Blizzard to reverse course on a system that has persisted throughout the game for many years, which again revolves entirely around gear? How do you make people care again about just clearing the content into itself? And well, you don't, because now, as I said, everybody expects a reward, and that reward has to be gear, because there is no other reward, and as such, if they don't get a reward, that being gear, they start to complain about not getting any piece of gear. And that's it. That's the game. We're all fucked, and that's the end of it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.